Hello, everyone, and welcome to Thelma's podcast. So, today's Thursday, another live. Right, so today my guest is Joshua Dixon, and he's the founder of a brand called 𝐷𝐼RE. So, let's see if we can have him now. Okay. Oh, wow.
Hey,
Hiya, Joshua.
hey, how are you doing?
I'm great. Welcome to Thelma's podcast. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well. I'm
Oh,
doing pretty well. How are you feeling today? How are you feeling this week?
I'm feeling great because I'm speaking to you. I'm so excited to be in your presence. Thank you so much for accepting. So, first of all, can you please introduce yourself to us?
My name is Joshua Dixon. I'm here in Chicago, Illinois, in the USA, and I'm an interdisciplinary artist. I'm an artist of many different things, but one of the things that people really know me for now is my love-based clothing brand that focuses on mental health awareness and suicide prevention called 𝐷𝐼RE. Born from my suicide recovery, recovering from a suicide attempt in 2021, and I built this brand during the recovery of that, and in hopes to inspire kids and inspire others, and be something that 16-year-old Josh would have wanted when I was that age, and I was not thinking about being here anymore.
Yes, I like the backstory of what you are building. I think it's fantastic. This is why I do this podcast for young people, and I love the message. It's so beautiful. I must have you on my podcast. Thank you so much. So I'm so
Anytime.
sorry to ask you this question, but can you
Go for
explain?
it.
Did you, because you have a lot of surgery? Can you tell me what happened?
When I was 8 years, no, I don't have, sorry, I don't have no problems with answering any questions, especially regarding my accident. I rather invite curiosity than someone be mean towards me because because they're confused by what happened. When I was 8 years old, I was attacked by my family's two pit bulls, and it was just a normal day coming home from school, and a very snowy day, and we usually um, we've had pit bulls our whole lives. Well, not after the accident, but before then, pit bulls is just a very common thing in our family. But I had one. I had my own one, and my dad was babysitting another one, which is uncommon. We usually don't babysit other people's dogs. We usually only have our family of dogs, and so we've never had no problems with them hurting or harming anyone. We raise them from puppies until adults, and then we usually keep them and we love them. But we lost the mom and dad, and we ended up just keeping one of the puppies. That ended up being my pup, and my dad got an offer to babysit one of his friend's dogs and to make a little bit of cash if the dogs made puppies. And that was the dog that initiated the attack. Was this brought in dog, and just random day coming home from school, entering the backyard, same thing that I've done for years up until that point, and that dog used it as a opportunity when I closed the gate, fell on the ground, used it as an opportunity to attack me, and ended up being a tug of war between my dog and that dog. So one sacrificing her life to save mine, and the other one sacrificing his life to end mine. And the attack lasted for 2 minutes, and I lost 80% of my face in that 2 minutes. I lost my upper and lower eyelid to my left eye. I could still see in there, and I have severe damage to my cornea, but everything else on my eye is fine. The doctors told me that there is hope that if in the future maybe I'll be able to see and have all of it restored when technology gets better. But I've had 62 surgeries since then. It's been 16 years, 62 surgeries later. Um, fixing those health complications from the accident, and going from having nothing to not having a face at all to having a face all constructed from different parts of me, skin grafts and muscle grafts, and veins from here and there and muscles to help me smile. Um, it's remarkable. Go for it.
I think the words you're looking for is inspiring because a lot of people would have, after something so tragic that happened, they would end up in depression or
Mhm.
sometimes, unfortunately, suicide. But I feel like you find a way, you know, to really inspire people. Like, this is not the end. This is not gonna define me. That's why when I contacted you, I love the backstory. I love the fact that you're so open about, oh, you know what, guys, today I had a surgery. So why do you do that? Is it to inspire people, to keep people updated? Why do you do that?
Well, we don't have enough of it. In the social media world, everyone kind of shows like this very fabricated image of their life, and I think that if you want to really help someone who's going through a hard time, you also have to show them when you're going through a hard time. To be a great impact to someone, you can't just always be there when you're at your best. You have to also show up when you're at your worst. Because that person's going to love you regardless. They're going to love you in your best, and they're going to love you in your worst. And when I was having all of the surgeries that I had maybe about 48 surgeries within 5 to 6 years of since the accident. The very first 6 years of the accident, I've had 48 of my 62 surgeries by then. And at that time, I was probably like 13, 14. I had just got on social media. I didn't see anyone who also opened up and shared their story about their ongoing process of healing after going through a burn trauma or a dog mauling trauma or a trauma just very similar to mine where you're kind of dismembered due to a traumatic accident. And I've always wanted someone to look up to who represented me. I felt like I didn't have that. I didn't have an icon
Mm.
to look up to that was doing what I'm doing today. And that didn't stop me from wanting to create it. And so one of the goals was um, I was depressed. I had anxiety. I had a lot going on at home. I had a lot going on in public. It was my first time as a teenager understanding how society was receptive to me, like getting bullied for the first time, getting bullied without the protection of my mom. My mom was such a protector. For the very first years of the accident, we were inseparable. Wherever she went, I went. Wherever I went, she was always there. So if anything ever happened, she was always there with me. But when I went to high school, I didn't have that anymore. Now I get to see a lot of how people are receptive to me, and that's something that you can't necessarily prepare a kid for. You can to the best of your ability, but there's going to be so much that kid's going to have to go through on their own. And it was a really hard time for me. I didn't know why I wanted to keep going. I didn't have the motivation to keep going sometimes. It was just really hard because it's like, man, I'm just 14, 15 years old, and you guys want me to be here until I'm 81. Like, I don't know if I want to endure all of this for so long. And I'm still having surgeries. So I'm going through all of this humiliation in public, and I'm still having these surgeries to become quote unquote normal and to have a normal life. And for a while, it's like, is it worth it? Why is it worth it if I'm going through all of this treatment? But one of my goals was to see if I'd make it to 18. And when I finally did make it to 18, so 16-year-old Josh told told like I told myself, I was like, well, if I make it to 18, I had my first suicide attempt at 16. I was like, if I make it to 18, then I need to find a purpose to keep going. And then when I finally made it to 18, I was in college, I was making art, and I was doing photography, and I was using art as a therapeutic practice to not only help me share my story with others, but
Mm.
also to help use my story as a bridge to create conversations that we're not having enough of regarding ableism, regarding mental health, regarding sadness, regarding depression, regarding what it's like growing up in an abusive household, what it's like to go through some of these things, allowing it to be kind of this safe vessel and environment. Um, it ended up sparking a lot of conversations and making me really happy. And I was like, okay, I'm doing something. I feel at home with what I'm doing. And it just slowly started to build from there. Ever since the accident, I've always been sharing my story with others and being open and kind. I've always been a kind-hearted kid. And ever since before the accident, I've always been willing to help and put others before I put myself. And that's just who I am. So when the accident happened, it kind of amplified that. I had to learn how to walk, talk, write, and eat again after that accident because I was in a coma for a month. When I woke up, I didn't really have much of any of those muscle motor skills anymore, and I had to relearn a lot of that and adapt to this new reality of that whatever I was in the past is no longer there.
Mm.
That I have to adapt to this new life of way of living, and a few times when I was walking around forcing myself to walk, and my mom was really coaching me to walk. Those really early days of the accident, there would be patients who was in the same ward as me who've been laying in the bed for 30, 40 days and never even gotten out of the bed. And they're just like, hey, can I talk to that kid? And, or the nurses to be like, hey, like, can I talk to you? Like, can I know your story? And I had nothing problem with sharing it with others. And in that ability to share with others has always helped me heal and helped me grow, and it helped me not feel alone. And I've found so much common ground over the years of helping others by just being who I am, sharing my story, sharing my lessons that I've learned throughout these 16 years, but also just having a reason to keep going and understanding that if you don't really see it, a reason to keep going, know that you can you you can make your own conception of why to keep going and why to keep thriving, and that community matters. So I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a community, if it wasn't for my family, if it wasn't for my surgical team, if it wasn't for the @MyWork community that I've developed up today.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't be here. Like, I'm very driven by community. We make each other strong. I'm strong by myself, but there's many times where I felt alone and isolated. But community has always reassured me and affirmed me, and we've gotten through the worst together, and we've gotten through the best together, and everything the gray in between. So community is important through traumatic accidents, but also community is important throughout life.
Yes, I totally agree. I've got to say, when you started your brand, you have such a huge following. A lot of people, I think they like the message. I know, and the clothing is very nice. I can see behind you as well. Is it your clothes? Is it the clothes that you're selling, right? All of
Yes, yes. I'm in my little shop.
wow.
This used to be my grandfather's room.
Mm.
My grandfather passed away around this time due to dementia, and he was such an icon in my life, such a hero in my life. I hated the fact that my mom gave me this offer to move into his room, but I used to have a warehouse space, and I wasn't able to be in there no more because of the economy, but also because I made the choice to use 2024 to focus on my health so I could be a better leader. I had a lot of health deteriorating conditions revolving around my breathing. I have a broken nose, technically speaking, and so that gives me pain. And I knew that my surgeon told me, like, when I was ready, he's like, we're going to have 4, maybe 5 surgeries, and we could do them back to back if you want to, or we could span them out throughout the next 4 or 5 years. And I was like, no, I'm going to do them back to back because I don't want to put my life on pause too long.
Mm.
And that was going to make me to where I wasn't going to be able to go to that warehouse each and every day. So it ended up being a great decision to move out of there and to move back home and to build my shop in here and to be able to fulfill orders and to create clothing on the same capacity, not as fluid as it used to be, but still with the same love and joy that I had when I started this brand 3 years ago.
3 years ago. And look at the massive following you have. Look
Yeah.
at the reports. I mean, I really love your story. I really do. So you have written a book. Is that correct? You have also written a book?
I am a published essayist in a book that's coming out in June. I think it's June 21st. It's called Hood Wellness, and it's me and nine other authors, well, nine other essayists who are all, we're all people of color, who have been through unseen circumstances, either very traumatic experiences. One is a cancer survivor. There's a few others who have went through just experiences that forever changed their life. And there's one essayist that's no longer with him because she lost her she succumbed to her battle to cancer, and she wrote about what it was like for her to live life, but also to grieve in this time as she's going towards this next chapter of potentially not being here. In the book, I haven't read the other essayists yet. They've been keeping it a secret, so I only know
Mhm.
mine. But this is the first time that I've actually had a written piece that I've written myself of my story. It's a short version of my autobiography, and it's really encasing my journey from the accident to pretty much to now outside of the 60-second surgery. But how I got through it, how Roses was there for me, how Roses ended up being a huge inspiration to me because I wasn't allowed to be around people for certain periods of time. When I was having my cluster of surgeries, I was prone to getting life-threatening infections from others, and I spent a lot of times in my backyard by myself, just playing with my own toys. But my mom had got tired of me watching the neighborhood kids play. And I used to sit in the window for hours and watch neighborhood kids play, and I used to be really sad about that. She bought me three rose bushes, and she said these roses would be your friends when you can't have friends. I'm a green thumb. I love to plant. I've been planting with my mom since I was 3 years old, and we planted those roses that day, and she taught me how to take care of them, and I took care of them every single day over the next several years, and they ended up being what she said. They ended up being that friend. I ended up learning a lot about life, the roses, and in that essay, I talk about roses a lot and how they helped me out in my journey, to how they helped me build a resiliency, how they helped me have my own thorns, and how roses are one of the only flowers, not the only flower, but one of the only flowers that a species that don't invade one another.
Mm.
Like roses would not kill another rose bush to have more space. They like to intertwine and create a garden together. They help each other out. It's a beautiful ecosystem of that specific gene in the roses. And I brought roses into Admire because a lot of my life lessons not only came from people but came from roses, and so integrating that into Admire was hard. But now we're 3 years in, and I've conveyed the message that roses have in my life, but also how they've been an inspiration to me to how I watch roses create a community and create resiliency. I'm also helping others be a part of a community and gain their own resiliency, and also show that they're beautiful, that they're loving in their own light, that they can blossom, that there are seasons of wilting, that there are seasons of blossoming. It doesn't mean that their life is over. It just means that you're going through a change right now. But it doesn't mean that a good day isn't going to come, that the sunshine isn't going to come, that maybe this year is a bad year. Maybe this year someone might not bloom. They might not reach their happiest potential. But it doesn't mean that next year isn't going to be a better year. Next year can be that year of blooming. That year can be a year of blossoming. And so roses for me have been a symbol of hope.
Mm.
When I didn't have hope, and now I'm conveying that message to others to also help them have hope. And so roses is huge to us.
That's nice. So there's one person who's asking, what is your life's philosophy? That's a very good question. So be,
Well, I,
be sorry.
I have a lot of them, but I would say as someone who my biggest one is I've there's a lot of there's a lot of talk about mortality throughout these 16 years. A
Mm.
lot of times where they didn't think I was going to make it through the night, or they didn't think like certain surgeries didn't go so well, and I almost died in the operating room, and I know it. this is just a certain feeling that comes with that when your life is being drained from you, and even just the accident, being on the grips of like the brink of death. Um, I've always had this mindset that I want to live every single day as if it's my last. So I'm gonna, if I'm mad at someone, I'm at least gonna tell them that I love them at the end of that conversation. If I care about someone, I'm gonna always make sure that I tell them that I care about them. I want every single thing that I do, every single impact that I make each and every day be just as great, if not better than I did the day before, because no one, not even myself, is guaranteed tomorrow. So I'm not gonna wait until tomorrow to make an impact on someone that I really care and truly care about. I'm gonna do that today. I'm gonna give. If I feel crappy today, if I feel my like 10%, like last week I got diagnosed with acute bronchitis, but I was still making videos and I still made the podcast and I still have a little bit of bronchitis, that lung infection now, but it's a lot better. That 10% of what I feel, I'm going to give you 120 of that 10% because I know that it matters. And to me, I rather have each day I'm trying rather than if that moment does come, I will regret not trying hard enough.
Yeah.
And so that's been my thing for 16 years is like, I'm gonna live each and every day as if it's my last. I'm gonna impact each and every life as if it's my last time talking to them. That sounds crazy, but it's been a great tool for me to just be serious about everything and to be caring and to be loving and to if it's me smiling at a random stranger on the street, that random stranger might have had a bad day, but that smiling got them could have just made the rest of their day and made the rest of their week. And now I might never know if that made an impact, but at least I know that I did the best that I could.
That's
Someone
lovely.
else asked the question, do you also have a list of things you want to experience? Yeah, I definitely have a bucket list.
Oh, okay.
I
Tell us some.
definitely have a bucket list. I do want to climb one of the tallest mountains, probably not Everest, but I definitely want to. I am a adventurer. I do love hiking, and I would love to climb one of the tallest mountains in the world. Probably not Mount Everest, though, but one of the others. Any of the other ones, just not that
Yeah.
one. Um,
Anything?
I would love to go skydiving one time, but I will also just love to just travel the world. One of the biggest things is this community is
Yeah.
international. You're in England.
Yeah.
Um, I would love to travel the world and to see the people who I've been impacting through the screen. I love face-to-face interactions more than I love doing the screen interactions. I really want to be in people's faces and to be able to, there's just a connection that you get when you're in person. And so, um, I want to experience that. I want to be able to travel the world and just meet people where they are. Um, it's a beautiful thing to be able to connect with people throughout all of these years. So, someone had asked me a long time ago, was like, if you had three wishes, I bet one of the wishes would be that you wish the accident didn't happen. No, that wouldn't be my three wish. It wouldn't be any of my wishes. I actually wouldn't think of it at all.
Mm.
I'm very grateful and thankful for all the people who have been a part of the 16 years because I would have not been nowhere near on the path that I'm on now if I didn't have the accident. I probably would be in Chicago's criminal system. I probably would have not went to college. I probably would obtain to a certain lifestyle that many other young black men who are in the same geological area as me, I would be in the same kind of similar lifestyle and just regard as them. No offense to them, but a lot of my friends just all the same way. We all grew up the same exact schools, but they're all a part of that system, and it's hard to kind of break away from that.
Yeah.
I felt like the accident took me away from what could have happened and gave me a whole new light. And so I used to think about what life would be if I didn't have the accident, but it doesn't sound like as exciting as it does as it has been. I've met thousands of people before I even did Admire Aware.
Mm.
I love my surgical team. They're like the home away from home.
Oh.
It's a beautiful time to be at the I didn't always like going to the hospital, but at least everyone knew me. Everyone knew me as family. Everyone who was attending my surgeries, they knew exactly who I was when they were cutting on me on the table. And there was just so much love there. I remember one of the surgical nurses, every time she was scrubbing to my surgery, she would sing to me as they was putting me to sleep. And there's just a lot of love there that I wouldn't have gotten if I didn't have the accident. So I'm very thankful for those thousands of people who have been a part of my journey then, and the thousands of people who I'm connecting with now. I wouldn't change any of that or exchange any of that for the world. I love this life now. I love the life. I love everyone a part of
It's
it. I told you, community matters.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. I love the fact that you embraced this new experience, this new life that you have. A lot of people wouldn't, but you feel like, you see blessings in everything. I feel like you're the type of person you see positivity in everything. Have you thought of, I don't know, sometimes be a public speaker? If you're invited to speak about experience, would you be open for that?
Yeah. I mean, I am currently taking a class for public speaking. I've done public speaking before in the past. I'm just working on building up a better resume to be more, I guess, qualified for just to be in the spaces. There's some giants in the space who feel like I'm a little too young to be a public speaker. I'm 24. But
Mm,
they they I'm gonna prove them wrong. I'm prove them wrong.
I think you should.
On that, I'm very confident in what I've done in the last, especially in the last 3 years. Just really being on this platform, being on TikTok, and sharing my story, and being able to help thousands of people of all different ages and backgrounds, from kids to 80-year-olds. Like, there is no partisan, like, there is no red, white, or blue, or any type of political affiliation that's like particularly admire, where there isn't, oh, this one demographic. It's everyone. Everyone's a part. There's a piece of all different type of cultures and backgrounds, and different continents, and I mean, just all over the place. Have been are a part of this family, and that shows me that I definitely need to keep working on that and keep working on that career, which I'm dedicated to doing this for the rest of my life, whatever that means. However many years that is, I'm gonna always make sure that I live it with the purpose of helping others,
Yes.
because that makes me happy.
Yes. Exactly. For me, I don't know who told you that you're too young. I wouldn't listen to people that saying things like that. I feel like age is just a number. You have
Hmm.
lived life so far, you're 24, so what? You have experienced a lot of things that half of us haven't experienced, even at my age. So I'll go for, if people invite you, I'll go, like you said, just prove them wrong. Personally,
Thank you.
nothing to prove, to be honest. You go up there, you do you. All right. And
Yeah,
I want to say a big thank you as well for your time, coming on my podcast. I'm quite new to this, so it's so exciting to have people like you, so inspiring and so engaging and so positive and so loving. All right. And my
no
last
problem.
question for you is, what
Go
would
for
you
it.
say? Thank you so much. What would you say to young people that want to go into, have their own brand, or to go to the other side after an accident? What would you say to them?
I would say to them to believe in themselves. It's hard to sometimes believe in yourself when you have a crazy ideal, or you feel like something's a part of your heart. Like,
Yeah.
failure doesn't mean that the game is over. Failure just shows that that particular avenue doesn't work, but it doesn't mean that that idea should die. You can do different avenues. That's just one thing that may not work for this time. It may not work due to these constrained resources that you have. But believe in yourself more than others believe in. Excuse me, before more than others believe in you.
Yeah.
For me, having this brand, there's a lot of people who were around me who didn't think it was a great idea, who stopped being my friend because of this, or I have family members who don't like admire it because I talked about a lot of my family trauma, and while I was creating this brand. and how I've overcome that. And so my family was just, some of my family members was just like, oh, you should have never talked about that. But I'm very truthful. I'm very honest. I'm very vulnerable because vulnerability does make us better. Vulnerability is a strength for me. And having these vulnerable conversations allows others to start having these conversations too.
Yeah.
And when we start having these conversations, we stop holding them inside and we start actually getting them out and we start actually healing. And so there's a collective healing that's going on in this community, that's going on when people are watching my videos and they're watching videos from 3 years ago, or they're watching my speech that I've done 5 years ago. It's a lot of collective healing and a lot of collective bonding there. And so it really takes believing in yourself more than maybe others believing in you, or more than you can even believe, like just having that hope. You there like I said, excuse me,
Okay.
um I didn't have anyone to look up to who's doing exactly what Joshua Christopher Dixon is doing right now, but I knew that if it didn't exist, then I can create it.
Mm-hmm.
And so if it whatever whatever hope that you have or want to create a career path, if it doesn't exist, then do it. Then create it.
That's it.
Just go for it. And it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be challenges. You're gonna cry. I definitely have cried multiple times doing this. I definitely have thought about going back to a 9 to 5 sometimes. You're just making videos and then just going back to a 9 to 5 because sometimes the financial instability is very, very harmful.
Yeah.
But it takes that sacrifice. It takes, keep waking up and doing it, and having a community around you, a small group of people who love you on your best and love you on your worst. And
Yeah.
a lot of my closest friends don't have any blood ties to me. Like they're not family. Some like my family. I've built my family from those around the world, like around the country and around the world, who we uplift each other, we inspire each other, we love each other through the good, bad, and the ugly. We argue because everyone's different, but at the end of the day, we can apologize and still love and respect one another. And the family that I've built is a lot stronger than the blood ties that I have. And so I always tell people who feel like they're hopeless because their family doesn't love them, it's because we in America we have this saying. I don't know if this is international saying, but they say that blood is thicker than water,
Mm.
and it means that you should always love and respect family over everything. But sometimes family isn't in your best interest, and some people feel like if family isn't in their best interest, then life is over. But no, there's 8 billion people out there in this world. There's
Mm-hmm.
8 billion people. If there's 100 people who don't like you or don't disagree with you, it doesn't stop you from reaching out to another 100 or so people who are gonna love and support you, and they're gonna be there for you in your best and be there for you in your worst. And so, for me, my family, not family that I built, I guess they're as thick as honey because water isn't thick at all if you think about
No.
it. Water isn't thick at all. So blood, blood is thicker than water. It doesn't really mean that much.
No. Doesn't.
Doesn't really mean that much. But my family is thicker than honey, and they have no blood ties to me, and I love them, and I thank them for supporting me every step of the way. And I'm
Mm.
just very blessed to have to know that God did what He did with me.
Mm-hmm.
Even though a lot of these experiences have been painful, I guess that He always knew that I was going to turn this pain into purpose. And
Mm.
that He knew that one day I was going to figure out that turning that pain into purpose was going to help me get through all that I'm going through. And that's been my circle for me.
Nice one.
Is sharing helps me heal. Sharing helps me get through it. And it touches my heart each and every time for everything. Even being here, I mean, it's just a heart fulfilling, like my heart overflows being in here right now.
No, thank you. Honestly, I can't thank you enough. I've read your story. I've seen what you do, and I say, listen, I have to absolutely have you on my podcast. And despite your surgery, despite everything, you made a commitment to come, and I can't wait to see you in person one day. So hopefully, you say
Oh
next
yeah.
time to England. I'm waiting for your open arms. That's what I'm
Yes.
saying. I can't wait.
I
So
definitely it's on my bucket list. It's on my bucket list to come. Also, someone asked me why not Everest. It's because my doctors told me that I might not be able to handle Everest. That's all.
don't
That's just
don't
the
yeah.
that's why I might not climb Mount Everest because the doctors just said my body might not be able to handle Mount Everest. That's just their speculation, and I don't want to tell if they say I might not be able to do it. Hey, there's many other mountains out there that I could pick from that's not as big as Mount Everest. So we're gonna do that one of those mountains.
If you come to the UK, I used to grow up in Switzerland. I can tell you so many lovely mountains for you to see. So please come to the UK, and then I will send you off to Europe to see lovely mountains.
I
Tell
would love that. I would love that. And I'm gonna send you a copy of the. I'm gonna autograph a copy when I get my hands on the copies because I haven't got my hands on the book yet. When I get my hands on the book, I'm gonna autograph it. I'm gonna send it to you out there in England, and maybe send you a T-shirt alongside that for you. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you for your time. Thank you so much for your generosity. I can't thank you enough. Now, my bucket list is to meet you one day. So hopefully that's going to happen.
We're
If not, I'll come to Chicago. Personally, I'll come. I've never been to America. That's a dream. So two
we're
dreams,
gonna
one.
we're gonna make the bucket list happen. I mean, I have a lot of friends in England, so I definitely have to make the commitment to come out there. I just got my passport about a year ago. So I'm hoping I got a goal for next year. I want to travel more, and then hopefully start going abroad. But Europe is on my bucket list to go to first. So England, and then hopefully the Netherlands after England because I want to go see Vincent van Gogh's exhibitions in Amsterdam.
Oh, yeah.
Vincent is a great inspiration to me, and I've been inspired by Vincent van Gogh's story ever since I was 16, and my mom introduced me to him when she found out that I was thinking about not being here anymore.
Yeah, go to
That
go there.
go for it.
Yeah, I've been there. You will love it.
Okay.
I will not make that up. It's amazing. Dutch people are so lovely and they will love you to have you there. Seriously, come to the UK and then you're gonna tour Europe. There you go.
Okay.
Thank
I
you.
will. I will.
For,
No problem.
thank you so much again. And we're gonna keep in touch. All
Yeah.
right. So anytime you can reach me, I know I'm gonna reach you. You know, so we can meet up. I can't wait. And a big blessing to your family and to your community that really are there supporting. You're not on your own. I'm part of your community now as well, and
Yes.
that's not the thing. So thank you so much, and I hope you
No
have a
problem.
lot.
Thank you. Love you too. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Well, it's evening over there. I hope you have a good rest of your evening. Sending you and your family lots of love and blessings. And thank you for being a part of the Admire community and allowing me to be a part of your collective for your podcast. And I hope your podcast continue to grow and be prosperous, and just you continue to capture a lot of our stories and allow it to be a catalog of hope for
Yes,
others.
definitely. Thank you so much.
Uh,
Mwah.
bye until next time.
Until next time.